O Hoopoe, when you shed your tears, crying for the rains of spring, and spurning the lightest wink of sleep, just because your craw is empty, do you imagine that you and you alone are scorched by this drought? No, a great disaster has befallen all God's servants, every one of them. There are men, once rich with milch beasts, who are now too weak to rise at the assembly ground. The ostrich hen no longer stirs, nor half the asses of the wilderness. In vain do the brawny-shouldered oryx bucks strive to raise themselves up from the ground. Those solitary grazers sink down in the burnt scrubland. A scant few gazelles among Garanug and Dero survive, but for the Sakaro and her fawns there is no chance. The kudu is slaughtered, his flesh cut up for meat, even by nobly born men and soldiers in full array. Never does the lion of the rocks now roar on Tumo Plain, and the leopards that once were killers of goats have perished themselves at the hands of hunters. Gone are the burdened camels, gone are all the short-horned cattle. Sheep and goats, fattened for slaughter, are scarcely to be seen. The skin flask from which the ghee was served is shriveled and musty from disuse. You see around you on the ground, they are the bones of hyenas, bones of vulture. In the vale that used to yield grazing, no beast now bellows.
Compartmentalizes humans, their livelihoods, the land, the resources, the wildlife, right? That's what conservation does. It actually doesn't see them as intrinsically, linked together or inherently linked together. And so what Western conservation model does is completely uproot indigenous people who are actually stewarding these lands. It's uprooting them violently, right, through this colonial process, and put them aside to say, okay, we're going to set this land aside for conservation, right? And that's why, to me, till today, I always argue that conservation is inherently colonialism, right? Because it's uprooting, it's completely reappropriating, not reappropriating, but acquiring very violently the land. It's dispossessing and then acquiring the land, and imposing this model, this very Eurocentric view of seeing nature, which is always separate from humans.